Hello everyone, welcome to a new mini-series on this channel. Today we're going to be looking at some of the best races in F1 history, sort of examining them a little bit and understanding where it all went right, where it all went wrong for certain drivers, and just understanding the race. So we're starting off with, if not my favourite Grand Prix ever, I think it might be my favourite Grand Prix ever, the 2011 Canadian Grand Prix. So this race began behind the safety car after heavy rain conditions were present at the start of the race. Sebastian Vettel was on pole position ahead of the Ferrari drivers of Fernando Alonso and Felipe Massa. Once the cars were released from behind the safety car, Vettel was dominant in the early stages, pushing the Red Bull further and further ahead, creating a big gap over the two Ferrari drivers. Hamilton made contact with Mark Webber, which sent him into a spin at turn 1, and Hamilton did not get a penalty, if I remember correctly, for this accident. It was just a racing accident at the time, but Webber did lose a whole heap of positions from this contact. The next moment of note was when Hamilton was trying to overtake Jenson Button down the main straight, but the two made contact. Button was squeezing Hamilton into the pit wall, probably not understanding he was there, causing Hamilton to retire a couple of corners later. A safety car was called because of this accident, and to clear the debris, the race would resume short after. Jenson Button pitted for intermediate tyres before the safety car, but was given a drive-through penalty for speeding under that safety car conditions. He had dropped to last place after this incident. So after the safety car went in for this accident with Lewis Hamilton and Jenson Button, Sebastian Vettel still led, but a lot of drivers were on the intermediate tyres at this stage. But a few laps later, on lap 19, the drivers all had to switch back to the full wet tyres as wet conditions were present once again, meaning it was going to be impossible to stay on the intermediate tyres they're all currently on. On lap 20, the race was stopped because of the intensity of the rain. I think after a couple of laps behind this safety car, the race was halted because of the really bad conditions the drivers were experiencing. After 2 hours of torrential rain, the race started again at just before 4 p.m. local time, so it was getting dark at this stage of the evening. After the race was started behind the safety car, Vettel led from Kamui Kobayashi in the Sauber, who had played his cards right in the weird conditions to get himself up to second position in a Sauber car which was not too competitive. The safety car had stayed out so long that it dried enough on track for some drivers to come in and put intermediate tyres on. By lap 37, there were only two drivers out on track that had not put the intermediate tyres on, and they were Sebastian Vettel and Narain Karthikeyan. Button was charging through the field, and while doing so, made contact with Fernando Alonso, causing Alonso to go to a spin and retire from the race. A safety car came out for this accident, but surprisingly, I'd say, Jenson Button did not get a penalty for this accident. He didn't get a penalty for the contact with Hamilton either, so it was a very lucky race for Jenson Button. He was getting involved in quite a lot, but did not get a penalty for either of the two collisions he had had. He did get that drive-through though for speeding under the safety car conditions. Jenson Button did have damage after the collision and had to pit. After he was sent back out, he was the last running car once again. By lap 46, the FIA enabled the DRS, which meant that everyone could use that under slightly wet conditions while still on the intermediate tyres. And by lap 54, everyone had pretty much pitted for the dry tyres. So it took about 8 laps for the DRS to be open, and then for most people to be on dry tyres. So it was that stage where everyone was sort of guessing whether they should come in or not, or that it was just quite dry enough. And a couple of people gambled and did make positions in this period. Nick Heidfeld then crashed with Kamui Kobayashi, causing another safety car, the 6th of the Grand Prix. After the safety car, Jenson Button was a man on a mission, gaining more and more positions and overtook Webber and Schumacher to gain second position with just a few laps to go. With 1 lap to go, Jenson Button was right up behind Sebastian Vettel for the win. But it seemed pretty unlikely that an overtake was going to happen due to the nature of the circuit, and to get an overtake done you were going to have to go on the wet part of the track, because even though, yes, it was still a little bit damp offline, if you went there and dry tyres, you were basically going to just go off the track. So it's going to be very hard for Jenson Button to pull this overtake off, even though Sebastian Vettel was definitely slower at this stage. But in one of the craziest turn of events in Formula 1 history, on the last lap of the race, Sebastian Vettel ran slightly wide and touched the wet part of the track, sending him into a half spin, which gave Jenson Button the lead of the race with half a lap to go. Vettel managed to recover from it. It was only a bit of a drifty moment, I suppose you'd say, and he managed to keep second place. But Jenson Button won this race ahead of Sebastian Vettel and Mark Webber. Michael Schumacher finished fourth, and Vitaly Petrov having one of his best results in Formula 1 with a 5th place finish that day. So quite incredibly, Jenson Button won this race after being last on 2 occasions and serving a drive-through penalty and having an accident with his teammate and having an accident with Fernando Alonso. It has to be one of the best drives in F1 history. And I've got it written down here. Yeah, Button stated, at the time at least, this was his best ever drive in Formula 1, and probably until the end of his career really, because he had one more competitive season with McLaren in 2012 and then it all went a bit downhill. So yeah, Jenson Button, I'd probably say, if he looked back right now, he'd probably say this was his best Grand Prix ever, his best ever drive. And for most British fans, I guess most fans around the world, this was one of the best Grand Prix ever, especially in modern history at least, because it was absolutely incredible. I think thanks to obviously the great nature of TV, we could get every single angle of every single little accident, and where you probably couldn't have got that back in the day. But I think that's what made an incredible race. Just so much coverage of just all the things that were going on in this race, because there was obviously back in the day, they wouldn't have I wouldn't have had as many cameras as we had in 2011, and yeah, we managed to capture everything, which made it such a dramatic race. So what an incredible race that was. One I'll personally never forget. Of course, it was down to, thanks to the British driver winning, which kind of helped. I mean, I think I would remember that race if whoever won it, really, because it was just an absolutely incredible race, which had absolutely everything in it. The Canadian Grand Prix is a great circuit. Jenson Button in wet conditions is always a recipe for an interesting race, and I think just that race in general will live in F1 folklore history forever. I think I could be wrong. I think he probably is one of the few people to win, coming through in the back of the field on multiple occasions, coming back to the front. It was pretty incredible. So that's pretty much it for part 1 in this little mini series here, guys. If you'd like me to do any more races, please leave some suggestions down below. I've actually got another one on my phone, which I will quickly check if it unlocks eventually, but I have got another one written down, so let me know whether you're interested in that one and any other future ones. So it's on my to-do list. It's Baku 2017. Should I do a video on that? Let me know in the comment section down below. But nonetheless, it's absolutely baking right now, especially in a room recording a video. It's not too pleasant. But anyway, I'm going to go and edit these videos, guys. Thanks for watching. Yeah, have a great day. I'll see you guys around soon. Goodbye. So guys, thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you did enjoy it. Of course, if you did enjoy it, please remember to like the video. I mean, it does help me out a lot. It only takes a couple of seconds, but yeah, I know it's annoying people asking, so nonetheless, I'd appreciate it. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Just to let you know, I am on holiday for the next couple of weeks, so I'm going to play this message maybe at the end of a couple of my videos, just to make sure everyone knows. But basically, I've got some videos going up. Obviously, these ones scheduled right now, and of course, I've got a couple of ideas for things to edit whilst I'm out there. But I have also got some interviews that I recorded sort of a couple of months ago, which I never really got out. So there's a chance they might end up on the channel over the next couple of weeks as well. So let me know if you enjoy them or not. I'm still sort of getting into the pattern of understanding how to do interviews and all that sort of stuff. It takes a bit of time. It's especially for me, someone that's quite shy. It takes a bit of time to get used to it, and understanding the protocol in a way. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it, guys. Thanks for watching, and yeah, see you guys around soon. Goodbye.